Well, the late game on Monday is between two teams that need to just turn things around. They've suffered, they're coming at the back of losses, probably in games which they thought they should have won or could have won. It's Hyderabad against Punjab. And with Ajit, Agarkar and Brad Hogg, we will run through the key battles, talking points, build up to it, put them under the gun on the clock, and look at their likely playing 11s. Let's look at our first match day match point here on ESPNcricinfo Matchday T20. It's the lower middle order troubles that Hyderabad have. We've spoken to death about the importance of David Warner and Shikhar Dhawan. Yuvraj Singh has started well, but they would have expected a little more in that chase against Kolkata the other night. Let's just show you the numbers and put our attention to two batsmen who come with a bit of a reputation given the experience in the IPL and that they have performed at the higher stages before. Ojha has just got an average of 13 in the tournament and 105 is the strike rate. Deepak Hooda, for all the promise he showed at Rajasthan, bought for good money by Sunrisers, average of 11, strike rate of 119. So let's start by throwing the discussion to Ajit Agarkar. I think you've bowled enough to these two at some point, or at least Ojha I think you have bowled too. But just can they expect more out of the likes of Ojha and Hooda, Ajit?
They've got to. I mean, the way that team is structured, there is definitely an over-dependence on Warner because Shikhar Dhawan's not doing as well as we've seen Shikhar Dhawan do before. Yuvraj is batting a lot better this season. He's had a couple of really good knocks. But these two are critical because you don't want Warner to go in thinking that he's got to get a 70 or a 80 or a 90 every time he goes out, and that puts so these two have to stand up. I think there's enough experience that they've got, whether it's in the T20 or generally playing cricket around India. So the only thing about those stats is, a couple of the games or the first two games which Sunrisers won, they didn't have a lot to do in terms of batting, or the second game they didn't get a bat. So sometimes stats can be a little bit misleading, but they've got to do a lot more and take pressure off some of the top order batters. Okay,
Brad, I don't know if you can tell me enough about whether you bowled to these two, and maybe you can tell me why. But do they have the game to support Warner and Dhawan, or is this just adding more pressure to the top three, looking at what they've got under them? 45 seconds for you.
Well, if you look at the stats of the Sunrisers, we probably never got a bowl out them because the top order were doing too good last time. But look, there's plenty in the shed that can have a change for this batting lineup. Dwivedi can come in and keep for Ojha. He's a very experienced campaigner and hasn't got a bad record. But there's a young man, Tammy Agarkar. I think he's a left-handed batsman. He was a leading run scorer in the domestic competition this year. So they might make a couple of changes here, Sunrisers. But if I was going to make a change, I'd only make one change. And that would be either change the keeper or the batter. But you only make the one change. You don't want to make two changes and overdo it. I just think they should change the keeper and go for Dwivedi first. Yep. The experience, if he does well, then maybe bring in Tammy Agarkar for Hooda down the track, just knowing that you've got that depth in your batting to cover the experience.
Well, we'll see if that's how they indeed go about. But Ojha, who you think would be walking a tightrope, so would Deepak Hooda. When the Sunrisers management take that call, we'll know.